All right, my dears, here we are. It is Friday. We'll start with a little bit of grounding today to get us centered, and then we'll do some pranayama, some meditation, and some movement. So, one of the ways to ground ourselves is to rock very gently, side to side, forward and back, and just start to take maybe your first real pause of the morning to feel where you're at physically today, any areas of the body that are tender or sore, any areas of the body that feel strong or energized, any areas of the body that feel tired, and just letting all of that be the truth. It doesn't have to be good or bad. It doesn't have to change. It's just the truth right now. What is the truth right now? And we'll make the movements smaller. And so you're still rocking, but it's more imperceptible to the outside gaze. We'll notice how there is movement in stillness, there is stillness in movement, and how those two things go hand in hand. And just feeling into, again, what is true right now? Does your body or your mind or your heart feel more active or more still? And is there a correlation between the two? Is there a perception of felt sensation in the body that is tight or stiff or sore or tired? And then how does the mind reflect that? Is there parts of the body that feel energized, active? How does the mind reflect that? So instead of trying to force our mind to be still, can we allow ourselves to feel where we feel active, where we feel still, without judgment? So feeling into the land we're connecting to here, land of the Coast Salish people. A land that provides so many opportunities to slow down, to come back to what is tangible, to come back to the cycles of life, birth, life, death, rebirth, and how that plays out in our own lives, even with ideas, thoughts, emotions. There's a natural cycle of growth in our beings, our spiritual evolution. We are not the same beings we were as children, as teenagers, as young adults, as elders. So honoring every phase of our life, every pattern of our thought, as the evolution of our being, the evolution of growth. And taking the time to allow ourselves to be fully present for what is true right now. Draw your awareness to the crown of your head. Allow yourselves to sit up as tall as you can and adjust your seat. Maybe there's a pillow that you're sitting on so that you can feel some sense of ease as you sit. And with your awareness at the crown of your head, imagine you can inhale and energy comes in through the crown all the way down your spine to the very tip of your tail. And on the exhale, it rises back up the spine through the crown of the head. Inhale, crown down. Exhale, root up. And we'll follow that pattern of awareness. No ujjayi. Allow your breath to be easeful. Inhale, crown down. Exhale, root up. Allow your awareness to rest at the root. And tip of the tail, perineum, your connection to earth, to a sense of belonging, a belonging within the community, within your family, and a greater sense of belonging in all of your identities at this time on this land. And then allow your awareness to rise just a little below your belly button in the sacral area. And as your awareness rests there, the center is your creativity, your sexuality, the power you have to connect in an intimate way to the land, to the water, to the plants, to the animals, to yourself, and to each other. Place of connection. Allowing your awareness to rise just above the belly button, the solar plexus. And as your awareness rests here, this is our place of connection with power, personal power, and power in alignment with all of nature, in alignment with your purpose, your dharma, your reason for being here now. or in alignment with the greater service of your life, your legacy. Allowing your awareness to rise to the chest, behind the sternum. And as your awareness rests here, this is the place of absolute love, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, loving kindness. Love in a spiritual sense. Love beyond the conditions of our humanity. Fierce compassion, empathy. Love without expectations, but with appropriate boundaries so that you are nourished, that you can offer your love from a settled place, from a full place. And allowing your awareness to rise to the throat, the soft spot of your throat. Place of clear communication, of deep listening, of feeling understood, and the ability to hold space for others. Speaking truth to power with fierce compassion. And allowing your awareness to rise to the point between your eyebrows and midbrain. As your awareness rests here in this place of intuition, of vision, of imagining the world we are creating. Creative, innovative ideas. Your awareness once again rests at the crown. And as your awareness rests here, this is the place of connection to higher thought, to the God of your own understanding, to divinity, to magic, to synchronicity. To that vast vault of consciousness where all new ideas are formed, brought to light. A place that is so vast, it's beyond our simple lives. A place that is so vast, we can tap into the cosmic map of what this era holds for each of us and our future generations. From here, begin that breath again. Inhale, crown down. Exhale, root up. One final step to this practice. On the inhale, crown down. Internally, we recite swa. On the exhale, root up, ha, swaha. Swaha, 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 swaha. Palms gather at your heart. The head bows toward the heart. Swaha means complete offering. May this meditation and mantra and pranayama practice be an offering to keep our bodies settled through the asana practice and throughout our day. May we continue to use the tools of breath, of mantra, of meditation, and asana practice to further settle ourselves and our systems so that we can show up in a good way for our lives, for the lives of others, and for our deeper truth, our deeper purpose. All right, my dears, we'll begin the asana on our backs, And as you come onto your back, we'll do a few knee circles one direction, and then a few knee circles the other direction. We'll just feel how our body feels right now. Again, coming back to that, what is true right now, just now? Did that meditation practice settle you at all? Did it give you more energy? If none of that is true, notice that. Circle the other direction. And then bending the knees, placing the feet flat, doing a few rolling bridges here, pushing into the feet, lifting the arms all the way up overhead, and then taking the time to really roll down vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Exhale, roll down. 3 more at your own pace. Allowing the body to move with the breath, One more. And we'll add on to this movement. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, roll down and draw your knees in towards you. Inhale, straighten the legs, flex through the heels, arms go back up overhead. On the exhale, slowly arms come down, feet come down back to set up for bridge. Inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips, arms come up overhead. On the exhale, roll down and gather the knees in toward the chest. Inhale, straighten the legs up to the sky, flex through your heels, arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly return to that prep pose for bridge. 3 more. Inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips, lift the arms. Exhale, roll down. Draw the knees in. Inhale, legs go up, flex through your heels, arms overhead. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips, arms overhead. Exhale, roll down, gather your knees in. Inhale, lengthen, arms up, legs up, flex through the heels. And exhale all the way back down. Last one. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Exhale, roll down, gather the knees. Inhale, lift the legs, flex through the heels, arms reach back up overhead. And exhale, come all the way back down. And then holding bridge pose. So pushing into the feet, you can grab the edges of your mat, which is useful to walk your shoulders underneath you. You could stay there, or you could interlace the fingers behind your back. You could even support your low back with the heels of your hands, whatever feels useful. Notice your breath and notice for you. Do you like moving? And is staying still more challenging? Or do you like staying still? Is moving more challenging? Just allow there to be awareness there without judgment, without thinking it should be different. Just awareness of your craving, your aversion. 3 more breaths. Slowly, my dears, coming down, we'll come to happy baby pose, happy baby pose. So at the beginning of practice, notice what's available to you. Can you grab for your ankles? Can you grab for your back of your knees or your feet? What's available to you? You might rock side to side a little, side to side. Now come to stillness and center. Keep your feet how they are. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Inhale here. Curl up, bring your elbows and knees toward each other. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, curl up, elbows and knees toward each other. That's it. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lengthen down. Exhale, curl up and stay. And then reach for your feet, bring your head down, happy baby pose. And just notice what's remained the same, what may have changed. You might rock side to side. And then placing a block or a pillow between your knees. Lift your legs up. Keep your knees bent. You might have your hands behind your head or out in a T shape or even in a cactus shape. Knees go slightly to the right, up toward the chest, and then away from you. Back to center, inhale. Knees go slightly to the left, up toward your chest, and then away from you. Inhale back to center. Knees go slightly right, up toward your chest, and then away from you. Inhale, center. Knees go slightly left, up toward your chest, and then away from you. Inhale, center. Slightly right, toward the chest, away from you. Inhale, center. Slightly left, up toward the chest, and away from you. Now inhale, center. You might remain just like this, or you might straighten the legs up to the sky. Straight or bent knees. Go slightly right, up toward the chest, and away from you. Inhale, center. Slightly left, up toward the chest, and away from you. Inhale, center. Slightly right, up toward the chest, and away from you. Inhale, center. Slightly left, up toward the chest, and away from you. Now inhale, center. Straight legs if you can. Squeeze the pillow or the block. Curl head, neck, and shoulders up. Legs reach away from you. Come back up with the legs. Keep the head up if you can. Reach the legs away from you. Come back up with the legs. Keep the head up if you can. Reach the legs away from you. One more. Up. Reach the legs away from you. Back up and release. Walk your feet wide. Windshield wiper your legs. All the things.
I just wanted to feel this a
Even though I was doing it with you.
No! Just like an impulse, just really playful.
That's awesome. You can throw the pillow at me, I would let you.
Pillow fight. Get the core.
Right? All right, so we're gonna come over to hands and knees. I'm sure you all want to throw the pillow at me too.
Love it.
McKay's gonna throw a block at me.
There.
All right, so inhale to cow.
Oh,
Exhale to cat. Stay for an inhaling cat. Exhale back to cow. So we'll do that 3 or 4 more times. So notice how your breath moves differently. There's breath in the cow pose, that's more in the chest. When you breathe in cat pose, that can feel like it's more in the back body. So we'll notice that. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. You might pedal, you might sway, you might bend your knees significantly and move your hips side to side. See what feels useful for you. And then reach the right leg up. Bend the knee and spin the hip open. And then draw that right knee in towards your belly, chest, or even your nose as you hover forward. Lift the leg up. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Take the knee slightly to the left, slightly to the left. Nice. Lift the leg up. Take it slightly to the right. Lift the leg up. Step the foot forward between the hands, dip the hips, lift the heart, breathe it in. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Stay for an inhale here. Bend the knee. Make your way to the long edge of the mat and go side to side, side to side. So you don't have to go super low. It could be up a lot higher. Be again with your body, with what's true right now. What's true right now? And also what feels useful right now. Next time you're toward the left, spin everything that direction, facing the back of the mat, frame the left foot, bend the knee, lift the heart, inhale. Straighten that left leg, exhale. Stay for a breath in the back body, and then bend the knee. Come to plank pose. Now plank can look many different ways. Plank can be on your forearms, which is strong, yeah. Plank can have knees down, which is strong. Plank can have knees up. Careful of your elbows, yeah? So notice if you hyperextend, and you definitely hyperextend, yeah? So having that awareness of a little bend to the elbows, pushing into the hands, feeling the shoulder blades broaden for a moment, yeah? And then maybe the knees go down, especially if you're, creating life, I'm just saying, Come to the right side for side plank. Right knee might be down. You might lift the left leg up. So we'll feel into that. Could we align that right shoulder right over the wrist? Push the earth away. And again, without the elbow hyperextending, feel like the shoulders moving down away from the ear. Exactly. So good. Inhale here. Come back to plank, which can be knees down. Onto that left side. Maybe the left knee is down. You might lift that right leg up. We'll try to stack the shoulder right over the wrist. Have awareness of almost pulling the left heel of the hand toward the knee. Yeah. Take another deep breath in here. Come back to plank, maybe knees down. Shift forward. Try to lower halfway down. Exactly, chaturanga. And then through to cobra or up dog, whatever your body prefers. Back to downward facing dog. So really slowing down that movement of chaturanga, especially in flow, we can get going. And often chaturanga becomes a little bit where it's not halfway down. Again, it can be more challenging to slow the flow down. Notice that. Same right leg lifts. Inhale. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Inhale here. Draw the knee in towards your belly, chest, or even your nose. Inhale, lift the leg again. And take it just across the body toward that left arm, maybe just a little. Lift it up. Take it toward that right arm. Lift the leg back up. Step the foot forward between the hands. This time, let's lift that right arm. So maybe you really widen yourself by walking that left hand off the mat even. Yeah. So there's lots of room for that belly. And again, we're going to be mindful of our elbows and how they want to hyperextend. Yeah. A couple breaths here. Nice. So we're lifting through that back quad, pushing through that back heel. Nice. Inhale here. Make your way toward the long edge of the mat, Skandasana, side to side. And again, it might be low, it might not be. It might be up relatively high. You could even have your hands at your heart or out to the sides, whatever feels useful. Great. Next time you're toward that left foot, spin everything that direction. You're facing the front of your mat. And then maybe widen your stance just a little. Right fingertips might come off the mat. That left arm lifts up. So a spacious twist, lots of room for the belly. Left arm lifts, engaging through that right quad. Yeah. One more breath here, in. Exhale, frame that front foot, plank. Remember, plank can be knees down. Notice how it feels just to hold plank. Could there be almost a cat back? Could there be some, yes. And then the belly drawing in. So feeling how when you push away from the earth and the back of the heart comes up just a little, then draw the shoulders away from the ears, heel of the hands towards you. Now shift forward and lower halfway down. Great. Cobra or up dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. A few breaths. You might pedal, you might sway. All right, my dears, that left leg lifts, bend the knee, spin the hip open. Inhale here. Draw that knee in toward your belly, your chest, or even your nose. Lift the leg again, inhale. Take it across toward your right arm. Lift the leg again, inhale. Towards your left arm. Lift the leg again, inhale. Step that foot forward between your hands, but this time bring the back knee down So low lunge, walk your hands up onto that left thigh. And for a moment, bring your shoulders back over your hips and tuck your tail. No? So as you tuck your tail, start to send your hips just a tiny bit forward. Yeah. And notice how you might feel the front of that right thigh, the psoas, as the sacrum keeps lengthening. So the tail keeps going down, right? Might be a small movement, but it might be a relatively large impact. Yeah. And so that's one thing to even think of in our own lives. Are we always reaching for the biggest extension of the pose in yoga? And that can reflect for our lives of like reaching for this huge impact. You know, sometimes the smallest movements, the smallest changes have the most profound and lasting impact. Arms reach up overhead. Grab hold of your right wrist and lean to the left. So that side body opening here. And then notice, can you feel the side body first? So the whole right side opening. And then maybe start to send your hips a little bit more forward, and you might feel that front of the right psoas. Yeah. So a place where we can feel both. Also notice the outer left hip. It might be kind of creeping up, so we'll want to draw it down slightly. Down slightly, yes. Awesome. Okay, 2 more breaths here. Great. Then release this and frame the front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up, and then straighten that left leg and try to flex the toes up towards your face, the toes up towards your face. We'll make our way to the long edge of the mat, but this time we're folding forward. So the feet will be parallel, and they don't have to be super wide. They can be relatively shorter, especially if you're super flexible and you can easily put your head to the ground. Maybe you should stay with a little bit shorter of a stance. Maybe even a bend to your knees if you're really flexible. Breathe. Again, what if the smaller changes had the lasting, profound impact? Halfway lift on your inhale, and make your way to the back of the mat, framing that right foot. Place your left knee down, low lunge. Walking up onto that right thigh. Tucking the tail under. And then a very small movement forward with the hips. So it doesn't look like much, yeah? Doesn't look like much, but the tail is able to tuck. Let's bring that outer right hip down some. Still tucking the tail. Arms reach up. Grab hold of that left wrist and lean to the right, and feel the left side body open. And breathe into the ribs. And as we feel the left side body opening, you might send the hips a little bit more forward, yeah? Feeling that left hip flexor as well. And a couple big breaths here. Great. Release the pose, frame that front foot, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up, straighten the right leg, and see if you can flex the toes up towards your face. And bow and breathe. Plank pose. See if you can come onto your forearms. Forearm plank. And so maybe the knees come down at first, then maybe they lift and you push through the heels, and then you might bring the knees back down. Choose. Choose what feels useful. Great. Now, keeping your forearms down, lift your hips, walk your feet forward, dolphin pose. Maybe your head can be off the floor, maybe even do a few little movements with your neck. See if one at a time or both together you can push into your palms, lift your elbows, down dog. Awesome. Deep breath in, long breath out. Left leg goes high. Bend the knee, spin the hip open. Inhale here. Draw the knee in towards your belly, chest, or nose. Lift the leg. Take it across the body towards your right arm. Lift the leg. Take it towards your left arm. Lift the legs, my dear. Now, step it forward, crescent lunge. We're going to take time with this one too. Rising up. Maybe your hands stay at your hips at first. Is it possible to bend the back knee a little bit? Bend the back knee a little bit. And then really power the legs. It's an isometric movement where you're drawing the left hip back, the right hip forward. So there's a lot of strength in the legs. From here, can you slightly tuck your tail where you feel like the tailbone's going down? And then bring your hands behind your head. Lengthen the back of the neck. From this strong foundation, can you begin to push your head into your hands and feel the bottoms of your shoulder blades come into the body, the heart lift up. From there, you might be able to straighten the back leg and push through the heel. And then reach your arms up, shoulders down. Crescent lunge, awesome. And then from here, can you grab hold of that right wrist and lean to the left? And how is this different than when the knee was down? Can you still get into those right ribs? Can you still get into that right hip flexor? Do you need to bend the back knee? What's useful? Great. One more breath here. Reach your arms straight up. Warrior two. So finding your footing, heel to heel alignment, or if you need it to be wider, you can. Hips are open. Straighten that left leg. Triangle pose. So you might just touch your shin. Even if you can reach the floor, you might just touch your shin. So for a moment, we're going to bring those top ribs in toward the body, which lengthens the back ribs out. Draw the belly in to support that natural curve of your low back. And then see if you can bring that left hand, the bottom hand, to your heart. Yep. Great. So feel your foundation, feel your strength. Try to keep your elbows suspended. Yeah. Notice if it's really challenging to be here, maybe you've gone down too far. Yeah, you come up a little, see what works. One more breath. Great. Come to star pose, star pose. And bend your knees, goddess pose. So as you bend your knees in goddess pose, place your weight in your heels. You might even rock side to side a little bit. Feel where you typically balance your weight here. Is it more in the balls of your feet? Is it more to the right or the left? Just notice. See if you could lift your toes. Really ground and the back body. Ground through the heels, ground through the back body. And then what if the toes came down, you lifted your right heel up, just the right one. And then place that heel down and lifted the left one. And then place that heel down. What if you lifted them both? Could you breathe and feel into some sense of steadiness with the heels lifted? Wow, and that's really high off the ground. We're breathing, we're feeling. Maybe the arms reach up. Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's amazing. Okay, star pose. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs, heels down. Warrior two toward the front of the mat. Mm-hmm. We're feeling into that warrior two shape. Straighten the right leg. Triangle. So my invitation is to not to go down into that huge triangle where you're touching the ground, but maybe just touch right below your knee. Draw the left ribs in so the right ribs are long, stacking hips and shoulders, drawing the belly in to support the length of the low back. You might take your right hand to the heart without your elbow touching anything. Yeah. So notice how that feels. Can you feel your core here? Can you feel your feet? So the foundation, how do you stand? What do you stand for? How do you make that stand? What is your connection to your center when you're feeling super stuck or rooted or even stubborn? What's your connection to your power, your core? Is that power in alignment with when you're being super oppositional or stubborn? Yeah, or stuck? Or what is the relationship to power if you're feeling really like you can't stand your ground? All right, warrior two. We're pivoting on those back toes for crescent lunge. So take your time with that. You might have to shorten your stance or widen it. Bend the back knee. Isometrically, we're contracting the legs by drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Legs are really strong here. Yeah. Slight tuck to the tail. Mm-hmm. And then the arms interlace behind the head, the hands lengthening the neck, leaning back into the hands so that the shoulder blades come into the body, the heart lifts up, and then maybe the back leg begins to straighten. It might never be fully straight. We're pushing through the heel. We're also lifting that left thigh, just like when we were in that lower version of lunge. Reach your arms up. Crescent lunge, awesome. And then see if you can grab hold of that left wrist and lean to the right and still get that side body opening as well as the psoas. So this is a strong pose. It's a strong foundational pose. Again, it's a balance pose. So when we feel off balance, when we feel off kilter, when we feel like we're not being understood or heard or seen, can we still connect to that breath, to our ability to settle ourselves when we're not feeling solid ground? Come back to our relationship with power. What is it when we're not feeling solid? Is it power over, domination, power under, oppression? Reach your arms up. Inhale, plank. Elbows. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. You might pedal, you might sway. So all of this kind of really strong hold, strengthening, balancing poses is trying to set the foundation so that when we are in flow, we still feel solid. We still feel aligned. Think of what in flow means. When your life is in flow, when things are flowing easy, when your partnerships are in flow, when there's strong communication and you feel heard and seen, you know, whether that's with a romantic partner or a friend or a child or a boss. What does it feel like to be in flow? What's your relationship to power when you're in flow? Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise all the way up. And palms right to the heart. So we're going to go through 5 Surya Namaskara A, 5 Surya Namaskara B. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Know you have agency here to modify. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. You could jump back, land in chaturanga. You could step back, bring the knees down, whatever you need to do. Cobra or up dog or even sphinx. Back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Walk or hop lightly to the top. Halfway lift on your inhale, fold forward, exhale, feel your feet rise from there. Rise from solid foundation, inhale, arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift on the inhale. Chaturanga, exhale, or maybe you hold plank instead, or maybe you do cow and cat instead. Your choice, always. Agency, knees, chest, and chin. Beautiful, M. Meeting in down dog for a few breaths. That pause, so important within action to find moments of pause. Moments of stillness within the movement, within the flow. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift on your inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Mountain pose. Arms reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Lengthen the spine, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. And cobra or up dog, inhale. Back to downward facing dog. Or child's pose. Or anything else that feels like it's pause. It's a pause. Walk or hop to the top. Long spine, inhale. Fold forward. From your feet, from your root, rise, inhale. Palms to your own sweet heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Chaturanga, exhale. And cobra or up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Walk or hop to the top. Long spine, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Rise, inhale. Palms to the heart. One more Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose, pause. In mountain pose, you can have your feet together or apart, whatever feels more stable for you. And just notice, what is true right now? What is true physically for you? What is true mentally, emotionally for you? Just now. What do you crave? Do you like moving? Do you crave that? Is there a version of holding still? Is it the opposite? Just notice. Do we crave what we feel we're good at or what feels easier? Just notice. It's different for everybody. Chair pose. Inhale, so feet can be wide or they can be together. Your choice. Deep breath in. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga or any other way that you like to get to down dog. From down dog, we're stepping the right foot forward, back heel down for warrior one. As you rise up, reach your left arm forward, your right arm up. Notice how that helps you to align your ribs to face forward. Let's worry less about the hips right now. Straighten that right knee a little tiny bit. Draw the right hip back. Bring a slight tuck to your tail. Root down through the back foot. Lift the back arch. Engage the back quad. And then bring both arms up. And then from that place, lift the heart, shoulders down. Now bend that right knee to wherever it wants to go. Awesome. Inhale here. Down dog your way. Maybe chaturanga, maybe not. Left foot steps forward. Back heel comes down. Warrior one. So straighten that left leg at first a little. Yeah. Start with the back leg. Really feeling the tail slightly tuck. Reach your left arm up, your right arm forward. And so as the right arm reaches forward, feel the right ribs draw forward. That's exactly it. Strengthen that back leg as the tail slightly lengthens. Exactly. And then reach the arms up. Feel the shoulders come down. Feel the heart lift. And then try to maintain that where you have the integrity of the low back, and then bend the front. Exactly. Bend the front knee. Beautiful. Inhale here. Down dog your way. So we did warrior one more solid and steady just to set the foundation. Can we keep that alignment when we are in more flow? So think about partnerships, whether they're romantic or work or friendships, household, roommates, children. When things are in flow, are we in alignment with ourselves? When we fall out of our own alignment, does that make it harder to be in flow with others? Yeah. So coming back again and again and again, what's my alignment? What's my alignment? Am I falling out of alignment because I'm rushing? Am I falling out of alignment because I'm trying to force something? Am I falling out of alignment because I'm stubborn? Am I falling out of alignment because I feel like I don't have power in the situation? Yeah. How can we come back to our own feet? How can we keep our alignment in flow? Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Stand up mountain, take a deep breath in. Long breath out. We're going to move a little quicker, but we're going to keep our awareness on that alignment. If we move quicker, do we feel like we're getting out of alignment? Yeah. Notice that. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Cobra up or up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Warrior one, try to find your true alignment. Awesome. Take a deep breath in. Chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Your left foot steps forward. Warrior one, try to find your true alignment. Take a deep breath in. Chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or up dog, inhale. And then down dog for 5 breaths. We do need time and space to collect ourselves, to come back to ourselves, to come back to our breath. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Stand up mountain. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. And again, chair pose. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift. Make your way to down dog your way. Right foot forward, warrior one. Find your pose, your foundation. Breathe in. Back to down dog your way. Left foot, warrior one. Find your pose, inhale. Down dog your way. Breathe. So Surya Namaskara V can be where it gets really real for a lot of us, So we're 3 in. Got 2 more to go. How do you muster up that resilience, that fortitude to stay with the practice? Yeah, to stay with it. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Stand up, mountain, take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Yeah. 2 more. When things get challenging, what do? What's your response? Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, down dog your way. Down dog your way. Left foot, warrior one. Rise on the inhale. Down dog your way on the exhale. Breathe. We do need rest. We do need to honor our bodies. We do need stillness. We need all these things. It's true. And it's also such a deep practice to look at our response to what we crave and what we have aversion towards. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Stand up mountain, take a deep breath in and a long breath out. We have 1 more. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Down dog your way. Right foot forward. Warrior one. Down dog your way. Left foot forward, warrior one. Down dog your way. Now this time we'll walk or hop to the top and spend a few extra breaths in forward fold. So you might have your feet wide in your forward fold. You might even interlace the fingers behind your back, soften your elbows, let your arms rinse out overhead. You might nod your head, yes, I'm super glad this is over. This was the last one. Or no, I'm good. I like to float. Notice, what do you crave? What do you have aversion towards? It's useful information. What happens when you get challenged? Does that energy of conquering that bowls everyone over come through in you? Does that energy of I can't do it, I give up, I have to withdraw, does that come up in you? Neither are better or worse, but it's good information because what happens on the mat happens off the mat. Chair pose. Stand up straight and strong, mountain. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Reach your arms up. We're going to side bend to the right, side bend to the right. So you can reach your right hand toward the floor, your left arm over. Or you could grab the wrist. And then coming back to center and switching sides. Side bend to the left. You could reach your left hand toward the earth or grab the wrist. Come back to center on your inhale. Fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift on the inhale. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. Place your right knee down. Come up, low lunge. Grab hold of that right wrist and lean left. Notice any change. Notice what remains the same. You might release your left hand to your own thigh, like forearm on the thigh, and then really reach that right arm across, yeah? You might even reach for your own head and kind of lean back in and see if we can get way up, even almost to the armpit in the stretch, yeah? You feel it? Mm-hmm. We're breathing, we're noticing. You might have to widen your stance. Where's your balance here? Trying to feel what's the most useful thing for the side body, for the breath right up into that right lung. Mm-hmm. And then, my dears, coming back to center. So for M, twist high. So right arm in front, left arm behind. And that might be where you stay. Some of us might place that right hand on the outer left knee, push the knee into the hand and reach behind us. Some of us might bring our right wrist, the forearm, or even the elbow outside the left knee, whatever feels useful. That is not useful for pregnant bellies. You know? You could even lift the back knee if you took that shape. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Okay, release that, my friends. Frame your front foot. If your back knee is down, lift it. Straighten that front leg. Mm-hmm. Flex the toes toward the sky. Mm-hmm. And take a few breaths here. So hamstrings and calf, right, on that left side. And then place the left foot down, lift the right leg up, standing splits. Lift that right leg up, yes. And then maybe the forehead goes toward the shin. You could keep your hands tented, or you could try to bind, reaching for your calf with one or both hands, whatever feels useful. I'm taking a few breaths here. And now what if your right fingertips could be on the floor or a block, and you can bend your right knee and reach back with your left hand for your right foot and open the hip and still draw your forehead towards your shin. Yeah, nice. Few breaths here. Okay, release the foot, forward fold at the top of the mat, forward fold at the top of the mat. Great. Maybe interlace the fingers behind the head here, letting the neck be nice and long, feeling that. Lots of room for the belly. And then rise all the way up when you're ready. Inhale, reach your arms up. Side bend toward the left, toward the left. You might reach your left hand down. You might really reach your right arm across. You might put a lot of weight in that outer right foot and lean and stretch. And come back to center. And then side bend to the right, really rooting through that left foot. You might reach, reach, reach. And then come back to center, inhale, fold forward over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Step your left toes back and place your left knee down. Come up, low lunge. So finding that low lunge. And then arms up, you might grab hold of the left wrist and lean to the right, and just notice how that may have changed since you did this at the beginning of class. You might even put your right forearm on your right thigh, hold your own head with your left arm and start to really lean to the right and see what you can feel. Breathing into the left lung. Creating just a little bit more space. Awesome. Coming back to center, we'll do our twists. So you might twist high and stay there with your arms in a T shape, which is better for pregnant bellies and for things like herniated discs. Yeah. So left arm would be in front, right arm behind. Some of you might grab hold of that right knee with your left hand, push the knee against the hand and really reach behind you. That's a pretty therapeutic twist for low back issues. Some of you might be able to take your wrist, left wrist, forearm, or even elbow outside the right knee. But just see if that's useful. Is that useful? Is it actually more useful to stay out of the pose a little more? You could lift that back knee if you took that version. Wherever you are, 2 more breaths. And then framing that front foot, if the back knee is down, lift it up. Straighten the right leg and flex the toes toward the sky. Here, imagine almost a cow shape to your spine. Imagine you're going to bring your heart so forward that it would touch your toes, yeah? Feel into that right hamstring and calf. Take another deep breath in. And then right foot goes down, left leg lifts, standing splits. You might stay with your fingertips to the earth, or you could try to bind one or both hands behind the calf. See what feels useful. And then you might bend that left knee and reach back with your right hand for the foot. Open the hip and then still try to walk your forehead toward your shin. All right, my dears, release the feet. Forward fold at the top of the mat, wide, really wide. Edges of the mat. And then turn your toes out, drop your booty down, squat. You could place your palms to your heart, use your elbows to kind of open your knees a little. Maybe it's a more active squat, see what works. Oh yeah. All right, breathe. Good, everybody. Have awareness at the perineum here, a lift of the pelvic floor muscles. So that mula bandha, our root chakra, mula, root. It's a way of containing our energy so that we remain vertical, so that when we connect through the heart, it can come from a place of our own individual needs being met, our own individual energy being contained and helping to heal us and energize us and allow us to feel safe and steady and secure. All right, come onto your backs. Maybe you can just kind of roll down, really good. And then draw the knees into the chest. A few circles one way and a few circles the other. And then thread the needle, right ankle, left knee. What would happen if you grounded your sacrum down, almost like you're going to put your tailbone on the floor, almost like a cow shape to your back? You know? Maybe your legs would have to move away from you a little bit, but then we ground the sacrum, draw the belly slightly in, and then bring the legs toward us. So that can be an even bigger stretch for the hip. Again, sometimes it's the smallest movements, the smallest changes, the smallest tweaks that have the most profound and lasting impact. And switching sides when you're ready. And again, my invitation is to see if you could ground the sacrum down even a millimeter more than you typically do. Smallest modification, smallest adjustment. What if things weren't so huge? They weren't so luminous. They weren't so dire. And the smallest adjustments to our habits could make the most profound and lasting change. That's more in alignment with who we really are and what we want to do, what we want to create. And so I'm going to offer a twist and might modify that by bringing feet wide and just allowing knees to fall to the right. If you're not growing life inside your belly or having herniated disc, you might draw your knees into your chest. Both knees go over to the right where you level them, hold that, and then reach to the left. So one of the things about knees being level, you can put a pillow between your knees or a block between your knees. But notice, does the top knee tend to come back from the bottom? Could you bring them together? Yeah, so that the top knee is in alignment with the bottom. And notice how your left shoulder might not go to the floor there. That's okay. When the hips are in alignment and the pelvis is stable, we're inviting a twist where we want it, which is in the thoracic spine, the core. And then twisting to the other side, my dears, slow and steady. And coming back to center when you're ready. Before any final pose you might choose, a little jostle. So your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor. You're just going to push into your feet a little and get a little jostle going. And then pause and notice any energy, notice any tingling you might feel in your body. And then your choice. What do you want to do before Shavasana? Is there any final poses or are you ready? Can you just lie down, bolster under your knees or wherever else allows you to feel ready for rest? Just for a moment more, can you allow gravity to feel like a tender hug? Feel held in a way by the earth that allows you to feel liberated, free, yet cared for deeply. When you're ready, my dears, rising back to a seated pose. We'll place our palms to our heart in any shape that feels potent to us right now. May this practice be an offering, a complete offering, swaha, to our ability to stay present with what is true right now, for our ability to recognize a pause, a moment where there is stillness in the action, for us to become even more aware of our craving and our aversion, and how we show up when we feel challenged. And to once again connect to the deeper alignment of truth and power within each and every one of us, why we are alive right here, right now, at this time. And to train ourselves to feel a sensation of both being completely cared for and nurtured, and also free. And may that be true for every living being with the inherent dignity and birthright to feel both cared for, nurtured, and free. One Om together, deep breath in. Ah. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Paz. In the spirit of our collective liberation, we say Aho, Ashe, Amin, Amen, blessed be, Kapu Aloha, in Lakach, Satnam, Namaste, Black Lives Matter.